Yep.
From every strand on the line of your reel, to the rods, to the anglers, to the lures on the end of your hook, let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Angler's Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stounger.
Good evening, everybody. I'm John.
How y'all are? Cage Rob here hanging out with you.
How y'all are? Oh, that gets me every time, Rob.
I know it does. That's why I do it.
So, how's the weather down there?
It's a little cool, and like we're getting some storms roll in. Maybe it's a little snow on Thursday, which you'll probably be warmer than I will Wednesday, Thursday. So
We're supposed to get up in the 50s to 60s.
Oh man.
What?
No, we're not. We're maybe 30s, 40s those couple days. So. Makes no sense.
I told you, man. You have to move to New York. Get the good weather.
If you get my wife to move, I'll go along with it. How's that?
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Better fishing too, but yeah, it's not about us tonight and talking weather and stuff. We're going to be talking about mainly catching fish in open water, and tonight we're joined by Brooke Finner. She's made herself in the world of open water angling. A lot of times she's chasing big bites or just practicing techniques, and she loves to share her knowledge with anglers. She brings a passion for the sport that's contagious, and we'll be diving into her experiences, strategies, and what it takes to consistently find success on the water. And Brooke, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Awesome. Doing good.
Doing well. Thank you. All right. So, Brooke, if you don't mind, go ahead and give us a little short history on your fishing and how you got started.
Sure. Well, I got started. My dad took me out fishing when I was younger. So, a few times I was out there and I'm like, God, I don't know if this is for me. And then I think the Bassmaster Elite Series came to La Crosse one year back, probably 10 to 12 years ago. And I just fell in love, and my dad and I would always go bass fishing, and that's kind of how it started. My love for the sport, and I love doing it. And I don't fish too many tournaments. I do a few local ones, but I'm not doing any of the big stuff. But I love fishing, and it's my passion.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, when that bug bites you, it's usually pretty hard.
Yes.
That's true. So how long have you been fishing, Brooke?
Oh, gosh.
I would say boat fishing.
Boat fishing. Oh, well, my dad took me out probably when I was younger. I was probably, maybe 10, 12 years old. And then a few years I took the summers off. I was working at a golf course and through like high school and college, make money. And my dad was always like, let's fish. And I'm like, I got to work. But then after that, I was done there. We'd go out every weekend and I would go fishing with him and a little father-daughter bonding time. And a few years ago, he actually bought a flat bottom because he has a crestliner, like a walleye type boat. And, we would just bass fish out of there or panfish or walleye fish. And a few years ago, he bought a flat bottom. So now I take out the War Eagle flat bottom and I go do my own thing. And I still go with him, but, I like going exploring myself. So
can't
beat that.
Yes.
What's your favorite body of water to fish? We'll get that.
Well, I am right along the Mississippi River in Trempealeau, Wisconsin. It's right by La Crosse, like 20 minutes from La Crosse. So I mainly fish pool, sometimes 5A and mainly 6 and 7. And I think when the Bassmaster Elites come to La Crosse, a lot of big tournaments go out of like pool 8, and then they can fish like 7, 8, and 9. So I'm not too far from there.
Now, do you have to lock through to get from pool to pool?
You do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and usually some of the lock masters are pretty good at that, and some are not nice. So yeah, there's been a few people that have locked out with pretty good bags for tournaments, so have to throw all their fish back.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No.
New York, you can't. In New York, you can't lock through because they don't want the spread of or bringing one fish to another body of water, even though they're all connected. So,
Yep.
Yeah, Tennessee's got that way. You can't lock through to Chickamauga during tournaments now. Like the Watts Bar or Chickamauga, you can't do that anymore.
okay.
So it's
All right, we got a couple comments here. Let's get through those real quick.
Yep, sure.
Barking Rugers says Podnas. And
What's up, buddy?
He's down in Louisiana. Tard Outdoors says good evening, y'all.
How's it going, buddy?
I think we're outnumbered, Brooke. Because I think most of the guys on here, or I shouldn't say guys, but most of the people on here are down in the South. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyways.
Yeah, we're way up north.
Yes. I've been to Wisconsin once.
It's beautiful here. God's country.
Oh, yeah.
All the hills and yeah.
I know your roads are I took a work trip up there a couple months ago, like in December, and I think it's cool because you got the grooves in the road, like going long ways, and yeah, it's a beautiful country up there. I went all the way up to the tip top up there.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I used to make fishing rods, so I went to the St. Croix factory in over in Park Falls. Yeah, I think it was Park Falls, or Indian Falls. I can't remember. But all right.
It is pretty good. You go by the was it Fond du Lac, the Bain Mercury plant, and man, it's like a car plant. I mean, it's everywhere. The whole side of the road seems like for a mile. Pretty neat.
All right. So let's start talking about open water fishing. How long have you been open water fishing?
Oh, like I said, it's probably been since, oh God, what am I, 34 now? That's a long time ago. Probably when I was, like by myself or with my dad? I mean, with my dad, that was when I was younger,
pretty much your whole life?
10 years. Yeah, pretty much my whole life. When I could, learn to pick up a rod. Now I have my nephew actually fishing. He's just turned 6, but we had him out there when he was like 2, and he's addicted now. He loves it. So that's pretty cool. He goes with me, and it's just fun watching him. Like each year, it's like, oh my God, he's gotten so much better at casting, and yeah, it's just fun to watch.
Yeah. My daughter just turned, she's 7.5. And she asked me the other day, she's like, can we go fishing? I looked outside and I'm like, no.
She's 7 going on 17, I think.
I think older than that, but there's different seasons. So fishing seasons as well as temperature and weather. So how do you adjust from one season to another?
Well, during the winter season, I go ice fishing, which passes the time by till spring and summer. But usually, it depends. Sometimes I've been fishing as early as March in open water. Otherwise, if we have a bunch of ice, and sometimes once the snow all melts and the ice melts, we get flooding. So sometimes we don't get out there till end of April, May. But like I said, it usually depends on the winters around here.
Yeah. So we'll get this right out of the way. So for Rob, because he's a big aficionado on ice fishing.
Not so much. I'm still learning.
Do you prefer tip ups or jigging, or does that depend on what species you're going after?
So usually I do both. We do like tip downs for perch or crappie.
Yep.
Sometimes you catch a little bass on there. Otherwise, I like to jig. We do set up tip ups too, and usually you can catch some bass and pike on those. But usually I like to jig. We actually went out this weekend and we caught a bunch of bluegills and crappie and some perch. So
cool.
So that was fun.
This is the best time to catch fish if you're going to eat them because they're so pure.
Yeah, except I get a little mad when I see those like 3-4 pound bass sitting on the ice.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, just throw them back so I can catch them in open water.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We had I had a guy that when I used to work at the bait shop 20 years ago, he would course, if you work at a bait shop, you don't have time to fish.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he'd go out and I'd give him some minnows, and he'd go out and get me a couple buckets full of perch, and made my belly good.
Oh yeah, they're good
Good
eating.
stuff.
Yes, they are. Rob, you got anything?
No, up there, you have a lot of grass, a little bit of rock on the Mississippi. I'm used to the far south end of the Mississippi down around New Orleans. So how's the Mississippi River on your end?
Oh, it's grassy, rocky banks, lily pads, sand bottoms, some sand drops and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to fish up here.
Okay, good deal.
Okay. Do you use electronics in your boats to find fish?
Actually, I have one little Lowrance that came on the flat bottom, and that is all I have right now. So finding fish is, sometimes difficult for me, but I don't give up. And honestly, on the Mississippi River here, it's, usually electronics like live scope and stuff isn't necessary if you're frog fishing because you can't see the fish anyways.
Right.
But, there are areas like on the wing dams and stuff and probably sand drops where you can see those fish pretty good. But usually I know where most of those are, where I don't really need live scope, but it would be nice to see the fish biting. But yeah, all I have is a little Lowrance that tells me how deep I am. So
That's the main thing.
I just like to go out and have fun. I don't worry about electronics. I'd rather just, look out straight instead of have my head down on a graph all day. So maybe one day I'll have live scope. But
well, it'll probably be a 3D image that I then.
Yeah.
Probably
have a big TV on the boat or something so you don't have to look down every day when you're fishing.
Yep. I saw that they were making stands for the that you could telescoping for graphs.
Yeah, Japan's come out with those telescoping. I can't remember the brand, but I've heard a lot about your frogging up there and swim jigs. I know swim jigs is almost like a religion up there.
Yeah, those are like my two favorite things to do.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, I love frogging. Is probably my favorite in the summertime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love throwing a swim jig, and in the springtime. See, our fish up here, our bass usually they spawn. It's like May. Mid-May to end of May. It usually depends on the water temp, but usually I like the summer fishing. Fall fishing can be good too because we'll have the big smallmouths get on the wing dams and start feeding on shad and stuff. So that's a good time too. But usually my favorite time of year is the summer frog fishing or throwing a swim jig.
Oh, absolutely. Or around the shad spawn. I know around shad spawn around here, that swim jig is deadly on that shad spawn.
See, I don't know how you get into frog fishing. I've had some bad experiences of frog fishing.
See, that's why I can't really go fishing with my dad anymore because he hates frog fishing. He's probably listening right now, but he is not the best frog fisherman out there, which is funny because I love doing it and I feel like I'm pretty good at it. But when I see him, I'm like, come on, Dad, like set the hook, like the fish has got it. No, miss it.
Oh man.
Yeah. I these people, guests or listeners have heard me a million times talk about my event on Gunnersville where I think my hookup ratio I think was probably about 90%, but getting him into the boat was at 0.
Yep.
Yeah.
That happens.
It does.
And, yeah. So right then I swore off frog fishing. So okay, you already said what your favorite baits are. Do you have a favorite brand of bait like for your frogs?
I throw the booyahs. I like the booyahs. Okay. I have Spros. I have some of the Terminators. But my favorite is probably the booyah or the Spro.
Okay.
Do you like the poppin' frogs better or just a standard frog?
Just the regular. I'm not a fan of the poppin' actually. I'll throw them here or there, but I like the regular ones.
Okay, I got you.
I did throw a poppin' frog a couple of years ago, and I caught a dock.
Oops.
There was a wire under the dock. I don't know how it happened, but
It'll get you.
yeah, it got me good. So do you you have any tips for frog fishing?
Oh, well, I like to actually put some couple BBs and like a BB gun in there to make, especially if the mat's really thick. I like to put some BBs in there to make the frog a little heavier and give them some noise. So that's one tip. Sometimes I'll like open the hooks just a little bit so they're not so close to the frog. But that's usually what I do.
Yeah. Okay. What's your setup for frog fishing?
So I have a Dobbins Champion, the frog rod, and then I usually, use 30, 40, usually 40 to 50 pound braid.
Okay.
And then I use the Abu Revo STXs. Those are my favorite reels that I use. So that's my setup for frog fishing.
Nice.
Good setup.
Yes, it is. Got some questions here. Let's go through some comments. Andy Slager says, "Hello, everyone."
How's it going, Andy?
Tard says he's in South Carolina.
Oh, hopefully you don't have any of the fire. I was going to say, are the fires? Hopefully they're not close to you, but I heard the fires in South Carolina are not cool
toward
right
the coast. Yeah, toward the coast. It's pretty tough.
Yes.
Barking Rugers is always interesting when he comments. He says, you got to have the Fish Tracker 2000 with a pulse Doppler or electro snagger. And he's referring to a graph.
Yeah, that's probably coming out soon.
Yeah. Anna Banks says, set the hook and fish her.
Is that a catfish she has in her picture? That's a big catfish.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That is a beast.
She's a big catfish angler.
That's awesome. That's one thing I have. That's one thing I haven't done. I've caught them here and there, but especially with them, which is weird because you'd think they'd be out deep Mississippi River, but I've caught a couple just bass fishing. But that's a big one.
Yeah, I've caught spinner baits. Yeah, I've caught them spinner baits, square bills, and up shallow. I mean, they'll be like 6-8 inches of water. I mean, it's like, what are they doing there?
Yeah. Don't go to the Potomac. Well, you can if you want to catch them.
Yep.
Because I swear I had big fish 17 times on the Potomac, and it was always catfish.
I've had it on Chickamauga during a Toyota one time. I thought I had a big smallmouth. No. Well, not quite.
Jeremiah says, having fished with Brooke, she can frog fish as good as any other rat on the river.
Thanks, Jay.
There you go. There you go.
Jeremiah, he's a good friend of mine. And we'll fish here and there together. So.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Good deal.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool dude.
Do you ever use live bait in the winter?
In the wintertime? No. Well, like little waxies waxies usually if I'm ice fishing.
Okay. All right. No leeches or maggots or anything?
No.
Okay.
Usually just little waxies. Or like they call them little spikes, which are a little
Yeah, they're maggots.
But yes, we call them spikes up here.
Yep.
Yeah, they call them spikes here too. But for the people down in Louisiana who don't ice fish that much, I figure I'd just throw that out there for them.
Usually on when we do tip downs or tip ups, we'll do like a minnow, like a rosy minnow or just regular minnows.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like the rosy reds, how many more bites they get compared to a just a regular flathead minnow. Mm-hmm. It's just or fathead. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, usually like in the summertime too. I'll this is a little tip out there, but I like throwing a pink fluke.
Yep.
And a smallmouth, they love it. So yeah, I mean, I guess fish like pink.
They do.
Yep.
I actually
or red.
Had a friend.
Yep.
I had a friend send me some pink chatterbaits. Thank you, Al. How
Yeah,
important?
that pink is hot down on my home lake, down in Lake Cumberland here in Kentucky. Pink year round. I don't care if it's pink spinnerbait, slip, anything, fluke, Cinco. You got pink down there. I don't know what it is, but it just works.
Yeah. As far as line, how important is the selection of line for you when you're open water fishing?
I think it's pretty important. I guess, when I'm using braid, especially in heavy stuff, the fish can't really tell what I'm using there. But, usually fluorocarbon, I like to use, anywhere from, my spinning rods, usually I'll use like 10-pound fluoro.
Okay.
But I try to stay around, anywhere 12 to less than that. I don't like to go any higher.
Okay.
Especially with my fluorocarbon.
Love you. That was my wife getting ready to go to work, so she said hi and bye.
Hello.
See ya.
What's the lowest you go on your fluorocarbon?
Oh, I've gone as low as 6 to 8. Usually 8 though. So up here with all the rocks and stuff, lowest I'll go is usually 8.
Yeah. I usually go anywhere from 6 to 20.
Yep.
So depending on my technique and stuff like that.
Sure. Usually there's other like floral that I'll use. That's, 15 to 17, but usually I've tried 20, but usually, some people use 20, but I think 20 is just too thick. So I like to stay around the 17 to 15.
Okay.
Good range.
Yeah. Now, this is different from summer to winter as far as the weather. How does that affect your fishing approach?
Oh, well, usually when it's like fall, if it gets too cold, I transfer to hunting season. And then, when there's ice, then I'm like, oh crap, like we probably got 3-4 months of ice in winter. I probably should go ice fishing. But the transition, it's hard. It's hard going from, 70, 80 degrees to, fall can be anywhere from 40s to 60 degrees, but ice fishing it can vary anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees. Like this weekend, it was nice out. It was like 40 degrees, and if it's anywhere below 20 degrees, usually I'm not going fishing in the winter.
Don't blame me.
unless I'm in a heated shack or something with a heater.
Yeah.
I ain't going if it's too cold or too windy. I'll stay right in the house.
I told my buddy he needs to get an airboat and drive out on the ice to where he goes.
That is fun. I've been on a few airboats up here, and yeah, they're fun. I wish I had one because you can get to places where nobody can get to, and the fishing is phenomenal out there.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, do you have any advice for someone during open water season, for when it's real windy?
Stay home.
Rule number 1.
No. Ooh. Well, I have power poles, which I don't have on my flat bottom right now. Power poles are helpful. Or try to stay out of the wind. Usually I'll go tuck in like a little pocket or something out of the wind. But usually in the flat bottom on the main channel, it gets really rough.
Yeah.
There's many times where I've, been fishing and the wind has picked up and I'm finding my way back close to shore where the waves aren't too bad because it's so rough out there with a little flat bottom. So my advice usually with a flat bottom, stay home. If you have a bass boat, it's probably fine, but and throw with the wind. Don't throw into the wind because you'll get a backlash if you use a bait caster.
Every time.
I was fishing a tournament, I don't know, probably 10 years ago on Cuba Lake, and it was real windy. And there was a guy throwing a crankbait into the wind.
Ooh.
And about every 15 casts, he would throw his rod down and pick up another one. So we're like, all right, let's. My buddy it was a partner tournament. My buddy's like, all right, we want to go. I said, no, I want to stay here and see how many rods he pulls out of his rod locker before he fixes anything.
I bet he was fixing those rods when he got home and reels.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And he's a friend of mine. And he's like, "Did you see my son up there on the deck?" I'm like, "That wasn't your son. Your son was laying down in the behind the console."
That's when you get home, you give them all a haircut. You just start giving them haircuts, and then
Yep.
start over.
No, you just
Been there,
loosen
done
the
that.
side plate, take the spool out. All right, Rob. I've been doing a lot of talking today, Rob.
No, you good, man. I'm talking about swim jigs. Now, what's your favorite kind of swim jig setup for spring and summer?
Ooh, well, I usually use the Lethal Weapons. I was at Island Outdoors up here in La Crosse. It's actually right close to where the leads take off. But I worked with him a few times, and he gave me a bunch of Lethal Weapon jigs, and
Cool.
I've been using those ever since. Actually, I'm running low. I probably should go visit him and get some more, but I like those. Usually white. I like black and blue. If I use a white one, it's usually got like a little pearl, like iridescent color in it with a white tail. I usually like the Strike King Menaces and for a trailer. I'm trying to think what else. Usually black and blue and white are like my go-tos.
Okay.
I've tried other colors, but I just feel like I can't get bid on those. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I guess up here I like white or black and blue.
Can't go wrong. Now, you are using fluorocarbon or braid on your setup on those?
It depends. Usually braid though, because if I'm throwing around grass or lily pads, I mean I think it's a Lethal Weapon 4. I think they still have them on Tackle Warehouse, but those actually go really good through like the grass and lily pads.
Nice.
So I like using those.
Yep.
So those are my favorite. Otherwise, I have like some of the Berkeley ones that I use. Super K. But yeah, those are my go-to swim jigs.
Right. Now, when you're throwing a swim jig, are you moving your rod, or are you just throwing them out and reeling them in, or?
No, I usually move my rod here and there. Like if I see like a hole in like the lily pads, I'll like let it sink a little bit, and then if I don't get bit, I'll bring it back up. Or same with like the grass, I'll just let it sink a little bit and then reel it back up if I don't get a bite.
Nice. All right, your turn, Rob.
All right. Then what do you up there? When does your season usually start? Like this time of year, or you have a closed season, or when's your season run?
So open water usually starts, like I said, it usually depends when the ice is all off. There's actually this weekend I was down by the boat ramp, and there's guys putting in boats on a sandbar because the boat ramp is still full of ice. Yeah, so they're desperate, but they're like out there walleye fishing. So I'd say usually May to people usually fish anywhere from May to November. Okay. Like I said, I usually go to hunting season. So usually I'm hunting by October or November. So I'm not fishing. Okay. but usually, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, sometimes I've been fishing as early as March, open water, April. I think the first actually BFL is at the end of April. So hopefully all the ice is gone. They've had to postpone that a few times, but because we've had ice and just bad weather or flooding. But yeah, usually from March to September, sometimes October, if I have no big bucks on camera.
Play bear.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't blame you. All right, let's get a couple more of these questions down or statements.
All right. Yep.
Dave Ribbing says, "Me and the wind are not friends."
Hey, I hear you, David. Yeah, I hear you. I've been in some rough ones.
That's why you stay home. That's why you stay home.
Yep. And Barking Ogre says, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, he's got a pretty badass aluminum boat. He can take it.
Yeah, he could take it in like inches of water.
Yeah. Unreal.
He sent me a video, and I think he was clearing out a mud canal or something.
Going through the jungle. Yeah, going through the jungle.
Yeah,
Now, is there a
usually
bunch of? Yep. I was gonna say, is there a bunch of oxbows lakes? I know down in Louisiana there was a bunch like where the old river come through and they call them oxbow lakes. Do you have any oxbow lakes up there?
What does that even mean? I mean,
like
we have
where,
like,
yeah,
I mean,
like
we
the
have,
old where the old river went and it like kind of moved. There's like an old river. It made like a little lake, sort of. That's the best way to explain it.
I mean, there might be some.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
okay. It's a little heavier up there. It's a little wider river section down there.
Yes, yes.
But John must have lost the signal there for a minute. But
Uh-oh.
yeah, that's all right. It's all right. There he is. He's coming back. There he is. There he is. Back again. Up. There he is.
And all of a sudden I look up and I go, uh-oh. I don't know if you heard me say uh-oh, but
No, you just vanished. I was like, oh.
I was done with this show.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, he clocked out early.
No, I'm going for overtime tonight.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. Well, when you're ice fishing, how do you determine where to fish?
Well, usually I just go, or like we have some lakes around Trempealeau here that I'll go to. I'll bring my little Markham. That's probably like the best fish finder that I have. But no, I'll bring my little Markham, and usually I'll go in about anywhere from 4 to 8 feet of water. Usually where we're fishing, it's like 3 to 5 feet, somewhere between 3 to 6 sometimes. It usually depends on where you go. I think this weekend I was in like 5.5 feet of water. But there's times I've been, I've gone on an airboat too, out to other different areas of the Mississippi River. So
cool.
But usually I stay on the lakes around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know some tackle shops up there, and boy, when ice fishing's on, they love it because they sell out like everything.
Yep. Yeah, if you're ever in the La Crosse area, I think Island Outdoors, Scott has a bunch of tackle there, and then there's a Fat Cats in town here in Trempealeau that has a bunch of bait and live tackle you can stop and get before you go out fishing. So that's pretty cool. I don't have to go too far.
Yep. I noticed up there when I was visiting tackle shops, all of them have the old line winders where you charge by the foot, and man, they got guys up there like the first 3 months of the season. That's all they're doing is putting line on 8 hours a day.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Don't see that down here.
Really?
Have you ever been ice fishing?
Nope, I have not.
Nope. See, I still say like people need to come try it once in their life.
Yeah, I'll try it.
When it's 20 degrees and up.
Yeah, I'll do it maybe. I'll do it maybe once. Maybe I don't know. I'll try it. Now I have learned a little about the tip ups. Your tip ups.
Yeah.
There's different sizes. Now, what kind of determines you just a size you like, or depends what kind of fish you're fishing for? Determines what you use.
Usually I'll just use it usually depends on what you're using or what you're fishing for, but usually we fish for pike and bass, so usually I think we have like probably 50 to 60 pound line on, and then like a little treble hook, and you just put a live minnow on there and just let it swim until the flag goes up.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not, I actually got 3, maybe 4 Amish tackle shops.
Yeah,
and they're good as gold. They don't have a phone. They don't have a computer. They'll call in their order or actually write it down, and when we ship it out, we'll put the invoice in the box because they don't have email. But as soon as they get it, they send a check back. I mean, they're just cool as they can be, man.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, they love the fish. I've seen a few of them out there, and they're in like they're not dressed very warm, but they like to fish.
We have a bunch out in West Kentucky, and I was behind an Amish cart one time, and this kid had a neon green kayak on top of the cart, and it just looked weird, And he jumps out, and he has a straw hat and the overalls. It's pretty cool. And pat around his little neon green kayak, just catching a fire out of bluegill. So hey, heads off to him.
Heck yeah.
Good for him.
Yep.
So, any thoughts on getting a kayak?
I've thought about it, but then I'm like, got that little flat bottom, so I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Flat bottom can get me, to places a lot quicker than a kayak, or I'd be out there on the Mississippi River paddling forever. I could see where it'd be helpful maybe on like Lake on Alaska, but if you're on the river, I'd rather just be in flat bottom.
Yeah.
Don't blame me
All right,
there.
Rob. We've got a couple more
Yep.
people here commenting.
All right, here we go.
Daniel says, "What's up, guys and gals?"
What's up, Daniel?
Plural. Is he using that for you when you're modeling your bikini?
Maybe so. I'm working on my figure for the summer, so I'm working on it.
Andrew Pulliam says, "Hey guys and Brooke."
Hey Andrew, what's going on, buddy?
And Barking Moor says, "It's a dry cold."
Funny story. He says that I was in Kenosha, and I think it was like 5 below or something. And so I'm at the hotel, and I like had my hair wet, and I said, "Well, I'll just run out the car and get something." Walked out the car, like 10 foot from the door. Walked in, my hair was froze. It was like straw. I was like, "Well, do I let it thaw out, or do I put hot water on it?" I was like, "I just let it thaw out." I was afraid it'd like fall out or something. So that was kind of weird. That was weird.
Yeah, that does happen.
Did you get out a picture of yourself and send it to your wife?
I should have, but it was like I was like, just it gave me the heebie-jeebies. So. But Kenosha is a nice town. I like Kenosha. It was nice.
Now, I've never been ice fishing either. So
you should try it one. You see, you and Rob can go together.
There you go.
Just come to Wisconsin. We'll go.
Oh, there you go.
I'll even take you on an airboat ride if you haven't been on an airboat ride.
Oh, wow. There you go. It's been a while. I have, but it's been a while.
No, it's see, to me, going out in one of those ice shanties isn't really ice fishing. I guess I'm a purist at that. You got to go sit there and get beat up by the wind and the cold. And
see, and I like to hole hop, so I don't like sitting in a shack too long either.
Yeah.
I'd rather be outside.
There you go.
Now, your auger, do you use like a 6-inch or an 8-inch?
I have an 8-inch Strike Master.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, if you're going to go with the good one, right?
Heck yeah.
Shoot, yeah, heavy duty.
I sold a lot of them.
Yeah, I like mine. Gets the job done.
Absolutely.
Yes. And quick.
Yes. Especially in, 18 inches of ice.
Oof. Dang. Couldn't imagine.
Nope.
What's the strangest thing you've caught ice fishing?
The strangest thing. Oh. I'm not sure if I've. Oh, you know what? I was out in Sturgeon Bay when I was fishing for white bass.
Yep.
Wait, are they white bass? I think they're white bass. But I was in 80 to 90 feet of water, ice fishing, catching those things way at the bottom. It was crazy.
Wow.
It took forever to reel them up because they're strong.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was actually with Outdoor Bound TV. I went over there for a trip. So that's probably the craziest thing I've caught through the ice. Otherwise, usually pike, bass, crappie, bluegill, perch.
I was wondering about snapping turtles. You ever catch a snapping turtle doing that, or they go hibernate? I guess.
I think they hibernate. I've never caught one, anyways.
Okay.
I do know of a few people who've had. Actually, I think my mom and my dad had a muskrat come up their hole one time.
Oh wow!
When they were fishing. Yeah, so that was probably. And they didn't catch it, but it just came up and said, "Hey," and went back down.
He kept seeing the fish go up that hole and said, "Okay,
right?
What's going on up there?" Yeah. Little feller.
He's like, "Oh, that's how I get out of that cold water." Yeah, I thought we were going to dominate this with open water, but I have more
I know
ice fishing questions than anything, and I don't ice fish. See, now Rob's going to write all this stuff down. So that
I'm taking notes. I'm taking mental notes.
Yeah, so that when he's talking to some tackle shop owners, he's going to be like, "Okay, I know what he's talking about."
I'll pretend I know any ice fishing, so I'll let it roll.
When when you're jigging, do you use a spinning rod?
Ice fishing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you
Yep.
use 4 pound test?
Yeah, it's like anywhere from like 3 to 4 usually.
Yeah.
Really thin stuff. It's usually hard to tie that line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I'm too old, and yeah, that's not working for me.
Yeah, usually my dad, like if we're out on the ice, he needs his glasses. I'm like, here, let me just take that because you're not going to be able to see it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or me fishing in open water.
Or it's wind, like she said, it's windy. You're trying to tell knot, and it's blowing about 20, 30 miles an hour, and it's like,
Yeah.
All right. So, Rob, you have any other questions about ice fishing?
I'm about to try it. I mean, you got me into. I'm about to give it a whirl at least once. I don't know how long I'll be out there, but I'll try it once. So
Put it on your bucket list.
it's on the bucket list. You got it. You got it.
Yeah. Andrew's got another comment here. It says ice fishing looks like a lot of work and expensive to start on top of the normal fishing expenses.
Yes,
Well-
you got that right because you got to put on all your clothes and get all your gear, and you got to bring a sled and your shack and your auger. Yeah, I'd rather go open water fishing.
Yeah.
I hear that. I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
And it's not like the holes stay open for a long time either. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to last 3 days in one hole
Yep.
without re-drilling it. But as far as the rods and stuff like that, I've made some ice fishing rods for people, and they're not that hard to make, and you can charge a decent amount if it's a custom rod.
Yeah.
They only have like 2 or 3 guides on them, so
They're like 3-4 foot usually, about that range, 3-4 foot. Okay.
Yeah. Not
Nah.
very big.
no. The ones I've made were I think 18 to 30 inches.
Yeah,
That's
I think
not
the
bad.
ones I have, I think my longest one is like 27, and then I think another one like 23, 24.
Okay. Not bad.
I think this was a guy that sat in a hut and didn't want to have his hut over a hole or something like that, just sitting out there. Andrew says, us Florida guys don't have to deal with the weather in the extremes like you do up north. That's true, but we're prepared for it when it comes.
Oh yeah.
Rob, his kid probably didn't have school for half the winter time.
Yeah, pretty much.
A threat of a snowstorm.
Yep. Well, we had flood days down Mississippi and Louisiana. We had flood days. It flood over the bridges, so we didn't have snow days. We had flood days, so a little different.
Yeah. Do you have any bucket list lakes you want to go to?
Ooh, I'd like to go. Well, let's see. Where haven't I been? I'd like to go to Lake Okeechobee. That looks fun. I've never been there. Wait, I think I might. No, I don't think I fished there. But I've been to like Sam Rayburn. That was fun. I actually caught my biggest largemouth there. He was 7'4".
Wow, nice.
I've been to a few places in Texas. Is it Lake Nacogdoches?
Yep.
Is that on that right? I've been there too. And then I caught like a 7'2" there. So my favorite place is probably Texas to fish, but I've been fishing I've fished in Florida a few times, but I was there like kind of during their winter? I'm not sure.
Yep.
It wasn't like during a prime time, so it wasn't that great, but I'd like to go back there and try to catch my bucket list is like a double-digit bass. I haven't caught one of those yet. So I'd like to catch like a 10, 11, 12 pounder. That'd be fun.
Oh, absolutely. Florida's got them.
Yes.
I mean, I either want to catch a double, and this is for New York. I want to catch a double-digit smallmouth.
Ooh,
that'd be fun.
Yeah,
I've been to the St. Lawrence. I actually was out there one time in like a little flat bottom of course, didn't have a scale, and I caught like this big smallmouth. It was like a football, and to this day I don't know how much it weighed, but it was probably at least 6 pounds, all of 6 pounds, I bet.
And they're getting with the gobies, they're getting bigger.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and quicker. They're getting larger quicker, I should say.
Yep.
David, he's in Illinois.
Yep. All right, Dave, I'll hit you up here in a little bit.
Yeah. And he says we get snow days, then 3 days later, when the snow melts, we get flood days.
Sounds like Kentucky in a way. we had both last couple of weeks, so
yeah. So you have anything else, Rob?
No, I said that on that swim jig. I know. I said that's one of my favorite techniques, and I said especially like in the fall when the minnows, all the shads around. That's in the shad spawn. That's my favorite. But yeah, if I had to catch it on one thing, I like throwing that swim jig around on braid. That's pretty cool. They pulled a rod out of your hand.
Yeah. So what are your favorite trailers for a swim jig, or just throw them straight?
I like the Strike King Menace. I think it's the Gambler. It's just a single tail. I can't remember the name of it, but I like those two. Or like a Kitech.
Yep.
Those are like my go-tos.
Okay.
Good choice.
All right.
Yeah, let's see. Here's Andrew. Got a quick
Andrew
comment.
says, right now, Lake Orange is giving up a lot of double-digit fish in the pre-spawn season. That's a good time to plan to come down.
Good to know.
Yeah. And I think they have like a couple spawns down there because they're mild all year long. I've heard they've had at least 2 or 3 spawns during the year. So it's pretty cool.
Like our spawn here will last anywhere from May to July.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Depending on, it is.
Yeah, Tennessee, Kentucky's. Yeah, usually ours is April. Tennessee, Kentucky's is April.
Yeah, because people are complaining that. Nope, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, usually ours is in May, like mid to end of May, but usually it doesn't last very long.
Yeah, same here.
I was fishing a tournament on the St. Lawrence, and this was middle of July. And the guy I draw was actually the owner of Kitech USA. He's like, dude, we're making a long run. I got fish on beds. Ooh. I looked at him like, what? He goes, yeah. They're in like 12 to 14 feet of water. He goes, I got fish on beds.
Wow.
So
I'm like, all right.
Went up there and didn't get a bite.
Of course. That's the way it goes.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
Absolutely. There's Dave.
Dave says, I'd say April mostly, maybe a hair of
May. Yeah, makes sense.
His spawn goes from November and all the way to May.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And some spring-fed lakes break all the rules.
Yep. Wow.
All right, Brooke, I got a tough question for you. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. So what's your favorite homemade cookie?
Ooh, my mom makes some pretty good M&M cookies.
Or
chocolate chip. Actually, oh God, she makes some pretty good M&M.
Can't beat that. That's a good combination.
I don't think my wife can keep M&Ms long enough to make cookies out of them.
I need to work out just so I can eat my mom's desserts because she's got a sweet tooth, and so do I, and I just eat it all. And she's like, here. Like today, she made no-bake cheesecake. She's always baking. She's a cook, so she's always cooking. That's why I need to keep working out. So I don't.
I need to
off
start
those calories.
Oh yeah.
I need to start it. I'm the heaviest I've ever been, so.
Don't take long, man.
No. My wife made a couple dozen peanut butter and oatmeal cookies today.
Ooh, nice.
But, yeah. So, all right, Rob. Anything else?
No, I think you covered it. I said that's a pretty area up there in Wisconsin. Like I said I'd like to come up there and ice fish and go up the upper Mississippi. I've heard a lot about it. So that's on my bucket list. I got 2 items on my bucket list up there. We have to knock out sometime.
Heck yeah, it's a fun time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But beautiful area up there. Beautiful country.
If you ever come, June and July are like
June, July. Okay.
It's great ice fishing that time of year too.
Yeah.
I don't think I trust ice that part of the year. I don't think.
All right. Brooke, thanks for coming on. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Do you have any sponsors, or do you want to thank people who've helped you along the way?
I've had a few. I get plenty of discounts from Dobbins, Rods, Berkeley, Abu, New Threads. Sarah, she lives in Ohio. She has New Threads Fishing Company, or a New Threads company. She makes embroidery, shirts, screen printing shirts, fishing jerseys. So if you're in the market for a fishing jersey, check her out. She's a great girl, and I've been friends with her forever. So that's probably about it for sponsors kind of that I have.
Okay.
And thank you, Mom and Dad, of course.
Yes, Mom and Dad.
Dad teaching you how to fish, and your mom keeping your belly full.
Yep.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
Right.
She does the feeding, and Dad takes me out. He usually takes me out fishing, but now I usually go by myself. So.
Okay.
He got you started, though. That means he got you started.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
That's awesome.
All right, Brooke. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Yes. I've learned a lot about ice fishing.
Yes, you did.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, she's got me talked into it now. I'm going to have to go try it now. She got me talked into it.
You know what, Rob? Come up to New York and we'll go together.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. I got friends that have shanties and all that stuff.
No, I'll try it once, at least.
Yeah.
Dress warm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know that's right.
Yeah. I got buddies that have shanties and they bring heaters with them.
Okay.
Propane heaters. And I'm like, that's not ice fishing, dude. And David has one more comment.
Yep.
Says David says he's in for a trip. I'm in for a trip to Wisconsin.
All right, salute, man. I'm with you, man. About to get it.
June or July. That's probably the warmest months.
Yep.
No, tell them November, December. That way, the southern guys.
December, January.
I've been up there in December. It's not too pleasant.
No.
Freeze your hair.
Honestly, though, I think January is the worst. I have a birthday in January, and I'm like, really, parents, you could plan this a little better. So I have like a summer birthday. But usually, it's like cold and miserable for my birthday. Yep. So usually, I think now I'm just going to have to, fly to Florida or something, go bass fishing on my birthday.
There you go.
We got to go somewhere warmer, maybe.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Brooke. I appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes.
All right.
Anything else you want to talk about, or?
Well, no, I think I'm good. But I was going to say, I did go to Costa Rica for my birthday one year, and we caught a sailfish, so that was pretty cool, and a bunch of tuna.
Wow. Shoot, nothing wrong with that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. If you haven't done that, that's pretty cool to do too.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Oh yeah,
that sailfish. It was jumping up, and it was crazy. Probably just like the Marlins do, but it was fun.
Can't beat that.
All right. Well, thank you very much again for coming on. We appreciate it. I love talking to people all over the country about fishing because it's always different.
Absolutely.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes.
All right.
Take care. Be safe.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Man, she's got me wanting to go. She's got me talking to go back to Wisconsin, man. What's up with that? That's pretty cool, though.
Yes.
That's cool. Cool part of the country, though. I really did like it more than I thought I would.
Good. Yeah, it's beautiful up there. The only thing that disappointed me was I didn't see that many farms, cow farms, dairy farms. I'm like, come on, this is cheese heaven. There's got to be cheese farms around. Well,
yeah, maybe further out, but yeah, same thing. I seen like Green Bay Stadium. There's Cheesehead, Central.
Yeah, so. And one of the rest stops we stopped at, my buddy and I, when we went, they had like a 10.5-foot bear. It was like some state record back in the 50s or something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, brown bear,
Good
black bear.
Lord. Yep.
And they had bottles of scotch that were $30 here, and they're like 12 there. So we may or may not have had a couple bottles for the ride home.
Hey, you gotta have some antifreeze, right?
Yep. And Daniel says, I'm at Ivy. Tough right now. Had over 150 high school teams fishing there this weekend.
Wow, that's some serious pressure on that lake.
Good night, guys. You tell me how the ice fishing goes. I'm staying down here.
I hear you, Ed, Drew. I don't blame you, man.
All right.
Oh,
well, hey, everybody. Have fun. Take care. Tonight or tomorrow, I believe we have Mark Black on.
Yep.
Talking about pre-spawn.
Yep. And always breaks it down good. He's great on breaking things down. So look forward to having him.
All right, folks. So everybody take care. Be safe. If you're on a boat, wear your life vest. If you're on hard water, be careful this time of year because it's starting to get soft.
Absolutely.
All right. Don't forget your spud. And
peace out.